All right, guys, we are in the Endgame. Yes, Avengers Endgame is in theaters right now, tearing it up at the box office, making all types of records. So now we have 22 films in the MCU, and I have all of them right here, baby. Yes, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, 3D right here, and I'm going to rank all 22 films from worst to first. Some of you may agree with me, some of you may not. It's all good because all films are subjective. I'm excited. I can't wait to talk about it. Let's get into it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion.
We're in the endgame now.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Just My Opinion. I really do appreciate it. We're in the end game now. Like I said, if this is your first time finding me, please go ahead and click on that subscribe button and also click the bell so you can be notified when I make uploads. So you saw my collection right here. I'm going to rank all these films from worst to first, starting with the worst, of course, and going all the way to the first. I am very, very, very confident in my top 10. I mean, whether you disagree or not, I mean, that's fine. But I just say as far as confidence is, I'm pretty sure that my top 10 will look like yours except for one film. I'm pretty sure some of y'all gonna be like, what the hell? I can't believe that's not your top 10. Okay, we're going to talk about it. Of course, I'm not going to review all the films, but I am going to give a brief reason as to why they are in the ranking order that they are in. And there's also 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 films that I am 100% satisfied with the action. And I will let you know when those films come up. But I don't want to waste any time. Let's go ahead and get into it. Coming in at number 22. It is a film that I have very, very high expectations for, but I was severely disappointed. I feel that this is one of the worst in the MCU, and that comes in at Iron Man 2. This film was very disappointing to me. I don't like what Mr. Jon Favreau did, but we all know that that was not his fault. I remember April of 2009, an interview came out and he was just like, look, guys, I don't want to rush this film. I feel like it's being rushed. But the villain was weak to me as far as his motivation. I hated the Iron Man versus War Machine fight that they had in the gym. I thought that was trash. Towards the end of the film, where Happy was trying to break into the facility and he was boxing with that one person and he was biting on the ear, that was just really goofy. Even though I like the character of Black Widow, I thought that everything that had to do with her in that film was just kind of just shoehorned in. And the story did not flow well with Justin Hammer and just a number of things. It is the most disappointing film to me in the MCU, and that's why it's coming in at number 22. Coming in at number 21 is another Iron Man film, and that is Iron Man 3. Right here, my expectations were even higher for this one right here. It was the first film that we got after the Avengers. I made a lot of money, $1.2 billion, but the Extremist Armor was a botched adaptation to me from what came in the comics or any type of comic or cartoon, movie, animation, whatever before that. I didn't like in this movie that the armor seemed so cheap. It seemed like as soon as you tapped it like this right here, the armor would just fall apart. One of the best parts in this film was when Tony saved the people out of the airplane doing the barrel of monkeys thing. But when he saved all the people and did like an epic pose at the end, the Iron Man suit got hit by a truck. And I was so turned off in the theater, like, oh, the armor just looks so dang cheap. I'm not liking this. I'm not feeling it or whatever. Also, how did Iron Man get into the plane without the cabin pressure making the plane crash? The reveal of the Mandarin was just horrible. So I don't want to go down the list. Well, I could, but, we don't want to be here for 5 hours. But, Iron Man 3 is very disappointing, and that's why it comes in at number 21. Coming in at number 20, we're in the top 20 now. We have Thor: The Dark World. The Malekith and the elves, like, dude, we have a whole universe, man. Just go duck off in the corner. Why are you trying to make it dark everywhere? I mean, you won't be able to see nothing, no way. I could not stand Kate Dennings' character in this movie. She was just so stupid. I like the actress, Kate Dennings, but her role in this film was dumb. At the end of the movie, while the whole 9 Rams are in stake, she wants to play makeout sessions in the middle of the battlefield. And, we got the elves running in place. They really just didn't seem like a threat. I remember Jeremy Jones way back in the day called this movie Portal Combat in his review. I wasn't feeling that. The ending battle was anticlimactic. It was just goofy. Okay. I mean, we had some decent scenes with Thor losing his mom and things like that. But the film was just disappointing. I did not get the action that I wanted at the end, and it was just too goofy. I hated the fact that Jane Foster, created some device to save all 9 realms. I mean, I understand that she's smart, and I have no problem with women being smart, so don't try to put that in my comments. But it's just like, these are the whole freaking 9 realms, and it seemed like she just figured it out like this or whatever. Like, I just wasn't feeling it. I remember in like a deleted scene or something, Kevin Feige said that because, Thor tried to kill Malekith with the lightning bolt, like 1 or 2, and it didn't, do anything. But all the 9 realms were converging together. They said they had an idea to where when he drew lightning, it drew lightning from all 9 realms simultaneously. So it would have been like a super duper big ass lightning bolt. You know how badass that would have been? But they decided to go with Jane Foster. Horrible, horrible idea. So that is why Thor: The Dark World comes in at number 20. Ranking the MCU from worst to first. Coming in at number 19 is the first Thor. We got that right there. There's no subtitles right there. I mean, it was a pretty decent film. I do remember wanting a little bit more. Thor and Jane Foster's relationship is not really anything anymore, even though she did pop up in Endgame. I felt they were more friends than lovers, and they kind of tried to shoehorn that in there. Loki, at the very beginning of the MCU, everybody was just like in love with Loki. I thought he was cool, but I just wasn't in love with him. You know what I'm saying? To me, he was kind of whining in this movie, like, tell me. I mean, like, I understand you're upset, bro, but like, it just, I wanted more from this film. It wasn't just horrible. It wasn't trash, but it definitely was not one of my favorites. Kenneth Branagh, I think you're a great director. He directed this film. He also did Cinderella, but that's why Thor is coming in at number 19. Coming in at number 18 it came out summer 2015, and that is Avengers Age of Ultron. Got that right there on Blu-ray, 3D Blu-ray, all that good stuff. Man, everybody was excited for this film, but I was highly disappointed. And one, because I thought Ultron's origin, his story, his development was completely rushed and just brushed over. I wanted so much more with that. Another thing, there was just some things that did not make sense with the plot of how Thor predicted his stuff. Now, he was supposed to go to some place and do some type of seance or trance or something, so where he was able to get the message. I don't remember exactly, but they cut that out and they sped through it. Towards the end, they was having jokes in the middle. I remember distinctly at the end where Ultron was trying to fight Thor, and Ultron was putting them hands on him. So Vision came in there and hit him with Mjolnir, the hammer or whatever. But it was goofy. He's like, how you do this? He's like, how'd you do that? He's like, oh, just a little flick of the wrist and da 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 da. I'm like, why are y'all joking when the whole world is about to be destroyed? Quicksilver's running and things like this, and then the guy almost hits him with a bullet, and they're like joking like this and things like that. We got that whack ass relationship of Bruce Banner and the Hulk, not Bruce Banner and the Hulk, Black Widow and Bruce Banner and the Hulk. Like, no, Bruce Banner Hulk needs to be talking to Betty Ross. Betty Ross, that's the only woman he need to be smashing. You know what I'm saying? Where is Betty Ross at? You know what I'm saying? Like, where does Black Widow coming from? This forced relationship, I hated that part. So I didn't like the Bruce Banner and the Black Widow relationship thing. I did not like the jokes at the end. Ultron's origin was weak, and then the action just, it wasn't, all the way there for me as well. But that is why Avengers Age of Ultron comes in at number 18. Coming in at number 17 for my worst to first. Film came out, I think, November of 2016. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that is Doctor Strange. Now, Benedict Cumberbatch, or Cumberbatch, whatever. I always mispronounce his name. I love him as the role of Doctor Strange, especially in Infinity War and Endgame. But again, guys, the same thing I like on his previous films. I hate it when there are jokes in serious moments in the film where everything is at stake. I want that to be taken seriously. So when he was fighting, I was going to say Achilles, not Achilles. What's the guy's name? Matt Mikkelsen was playing in this film. It's not Achilles. It's I'm finna say Maleficent. No, it's not Maleficent either. Doctor Strange. Hold on, I have to find this. Okay, I don't want Doctor Strange 1978. I want the new one. Let's see here. Doctor Strange. What is the villain's name? It's not Malekith. It is Caecilius. Okay. I had when Doctor Strange. I had to get his name because I need to make this point. When Doctor Strange was fighting Caecilius, in the at Doctor Strange's house or whatever in New York, I forgot what it was called. And when he got the cloak of levitation, the cloak was like flying around, like one of the henchmen's heads and like, bobbing it around and going like this, and he couldn't breathe. That's goofy. That's silly. And like, it's not funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not feeling that. Also, at the very beginning, I said this in my last time I did this ranking, but at the very beginning, when Caecilius is in the facility of Doctor Strange and the Ancient One, he's like flipping through the book, trying to find the right page or whatever. He's just flipping through. Let me find the spell. And then he tears the page out and goes, that is a waste of time. Just take the whole damn book. Like, I mean, seriously? I'm like watching this movie like, what the hell are you doing? Take the book and run, snatch and run. I mean, I know you know what I'm talking about. And y'all have magical powers and stuff. Like, everybody get a book. You know what I'm saying? We finna get the whole goddamn library and go to the other side of the universe and just, do our portals, train for years and be the baddest MFing magicians or whatever in the whole multiverse. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody get a book and run. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would have had backpacks and satchels and all this. Just book. Everybody get a book. But he just want to get 2 pages. Oh, and you still got whoops at the end. So I didn't like that. Also, the fighting stances in the movie where he was training with Chiwetel Ejiofor, who played the character of Mordo. Like, I remember that the little poses or whatever. I'm like, this is trash. They had no martial arts training or whatever. It was just a joke. Towards the end of the film where Wong got beat up, we didn't get to see that fight. He was like, hey, we finna die. Everybody grab a weapon. And then it cuts to another scene, comes back. The whole China place is destroyed. I'm like, okay, what's going on there? But I remember right before the third act too, where Doctor Strange is doing his epic pose in the mirror or whatever, like, I'm about to Doctor Strange, I'm finna go kick some ass or whatever. It was badass, the music coming, da-da-da-da, but then his cloak of levitation starts rubbing his face. I'm like, oh my God, you just ruined this epic moment right here. But anyway, I don't want to rant too long. Sorry, guys. But that is why Doctor Strange comes in at number 17. Now, coming in, and now these films right here, the rest of the films on this list, I like these films. I mean, I like the other ones too, but I was disappointed with those. These films on from, 16 down to number 1. I really did like these films. There's some I did like more than the others, okay? Coming in at number 16, I don't have a Blu-ray DVD 4K to hold up right now because it is still in theaters, and that is Captain Marvel. I did enjoy this film. The only thing that I didn't really like about it was I felt Captain Marvel was just a little too overpowered. There should have been a little bit more exposition here and there, and I really don't remember. I know I wasn't wowed by it. I'm going to buy it when it comes out or whatever, because I did enjoy the film. I thought Brie Larson was great in the role. I mean, there wasn't really too much that I did not like about the film. I've seen it twice in theaters. But I will be honest with you, the second time I saw it, it was like, wow, why did I like this so much the first time? I mean, it's still a great film, but my appetite for it died down a little bit. I mean, it's still great. I don't have much to complain about. It's probably slipped my mind, but Captain Marvel is coming in at number 16. Now, a lot of people crap on this film. I don't understand why. Coming in at number 15, top 15, I have 2008's The Incredible Hulk starring Edward Norton. No, this is not Mark Ruffalo. But at the same time, this is a much, much better Hulk than we got in Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War. At least we got to see Hulk smash. When are we going to see that again? At least we got to see Hulk do the thunderclap. I still wanted a little bit more action towards the end with him fighting the Abomination, but I think it's a very great film. I love the tone. I love the direction. I need to probably buy it on 4K or whatever. If you guys have it on 4K, let me know what the picture looks like right there. Now, this is one of the films right here that a lot of you guys are going to probably get mad at me. I don't really care. Oh my God, it was so great. I'm gonna tell you why it's not as great to me. Coming in, well, it's still great, just not as great as the other ones. Coming in at number 14 is Guardians of the Galaxy. Came out August of 2014. I love this film except for the fact that we have Ronan in here. Ronan was horrible as a villain. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I remember he was just like, cleanse it. I was not convinced at all. He sucked. I remember just saying, oh my gosh, this villain is horrible. One of the worst villains ever imaginable to me in this movie. That is the only reason why this film is not in my top 5. I mean, if Ronan was a decent villain, everything else is great in the film, but he was just so bad that it brings it down for me. Also, when Drax the Destroyer, played by Dave Bautista, dumbass, decided to make the radio signal call to Ronan because he wanted to fight him. I don't know, just stupid decision, impulse, emotional decision. Gamora and Peter Quill got into those little spaceships and was flying around, and I believe Rocket did as well. Groot tried to get into one of those spaceships, but then Rocket was like, hey, you're too big to get in, stay over here. So while Rocket, Gamora, and Peter Quill was in the spaceships flying around, Drax was over there getting his ass whooped by Drax the Destroyer. What was Groot doing? Why was Groot not over there helping Drax whoop up on Ronan? I remember being in the theater like, why are you not helping Groot? Why are you not helping? So those two things, now this will also bother me towards the end of the film, where it did not necessarily explain Peter Quill's Star-Lord's lineage, because he was able to hold the Infinity Stones and they were just left for interpretation. I'm just like, I'm like, okay, why was he able to hold the Infinity Stones? I don't make sense. It's supposed to kill him. They did answer that question in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, but that is something that was lingering over. So that little nitpick right there, Groot not helping out Drax, and just the main thing is just Ronan being a trash ass villain. I could not stand him. That is why Guardians of the Galaxy comes in at number 14, but that soundtrack was just so fire and everything else was so perfect. Coming in at number 13, y'all may disagree, like, oh my God, it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Got that right there on 4K Blu-ray. I really did enjoy this film. Now, something that I usually don't do is review, and I was reviewing films, of course, back in 2017 as well, of course. But what I normally never do is watch or read another critic's or another reviewer's review for a film or whatever, TV show, whatever, recap, whatever, before I watch the film and before I shoot my review, because I don't want my review to be tainted and me unconsciously mimic what they're saying in their review. But I did with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 because I just anticipated it so much. And so many people were complaining about the comedy in this film, just saying it was just too goofy. So I went in with those expectations checked. I laughed all the way through. A lot of people did not like the Sovereign, the gold people in this film. I thought they were perfectly fine. I didn't have anything wrong with them. The ending was a little goofy, especially with Drax just talking about, oh, my nipples, and how he like flew up into the wilderness or whatever. But I enjoyed the film. I liked it better than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. But that is a film where I was just thinking, like, you guys are going to think I'm freaking crazy for not having that in my top 10. Also, I have Guardians of the Galaxy right there on the IMAX ratio and 3D as well. So I got IMAX, 3D in this one, and also 4K. You know what I'm saying? I got to get all formats. Coming in at number 12 for my ranking, my MCU from worst to first. This film is so underrated to me. It's great. That is Captain America, the First Avenger. The only thing that I did not like about this film is I wanted more hand-to-hand action, kind of like we got in Winter Soldier, between him fighting with him fighting Captain America fighting the Red Skull. I did want to see that, and the only other gripe I have is that everything else was perfect in the film except when Captain America finally wields his full Captain America costume and his full painted shield. The first image we see of him is in a montage sequence. Now, the montage was great, but I wish we would have got at least another shot or another small action sequence or beat before it went to the montage. That was just a little jarring to me. That's really my only complaint, other than those two films. But I love this film, guys. I mean, it's up there for me. It's my number 12. Coming in at number 11, a lot of you may disagree with me as well here, but that's okay. And that is Ant-Man and the Wasp, coming in at number 11. Guys, I love this film. It was freaking hilarious. The only thing I really didn't care about was the villain or the antagonist. What was her name again? I'm finna call her Void or whatever. That's not her name. But she did great in the role, but it was when they was trying to explain her character and powers, it was just kind of like a plot hole. Like, okay, if S.H.I.E.L.D. or Hydra was using you this whole time, like, I mean, why didn't they use you more and more and more when you can phase through different things? And, you know, it just didn't, it didn't make sense to me. What is her name in the film? Okay, I'm not able to find it. So, anyway, I did enjoy the film. It was great. It's kind of bothered me that Ghost, that's her name, Ghost. But yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Other than that, guys, it was great. I don't have it on 3D and IMAX yet, but I am going to get it because that IMAX ratio, when you watch it at home, that's a beautiful ass picture right there. It's a beautiful ass picture. So coming in, now we're in the top 10. We are in the top 10, guys. Coming in at number 10 for my worst to first is Ant-Man. I love this film. I was so mad when Edgar Wright left the project and they brought in Peyton Reed, but I got to give it to Peyton Reed. He did a great job with this film right here. I mean, it was great. It was great. I really can't think of anything that I did not like about it. I really kind of like the villain played by Corey Stoll, Yellow Jacket. The relationship that he had with his daughter, Paul Rudd, that was great. I loved everything with Michael Douglas and everybody else involved. It was just a great film. It didn't wow me like the other ones in my top 9, but it was great. So Ant-Man comes in at number 10. Coming in, also guys, this film right here, I was 100% satisfied with the action. All right. So coming in at number 9, we still in the top 10, of course. One of my favorite comic book characters of all time. I don't know if you can. Oh, you can't see that. That's off screen right now. But that is Spiderman Homecoming right there, baby. Got that on 4K. Yes, the villain was great in this film. The Vulture, played by Michael Keaton. And Tom Holland did a great job as well. Now, I really wasn't feeling, it was revealed that Zendaya was Mary Jane. Mary Jane, how come you couldn't give her red hair? We don't know what, I don't know. Maybe she's in high school and they're trying to be more realistic. If you're a freshman or sophomore, who's really dyeing their hair red? But again, Mary Jane's natural hair was red. I don't know. The only thing that I did not care for in this film is the director was John Watts. And he was like, yeah, I wanted to change up some things. Spider-Man really wasn't swinging from buildings in this film. He really wasn't swinging from buildings in this film. And that's problematic for me. And that's what Spider-Man is known for. Everything else was great. And I loved it. I'm not going to complain too much. But other than that, guys, it was a great film. And that's why, to me, Spider-Man Homecoming comes in at number 9. Also, I didn't like that. I mean, I like Iron Man's part in there, but they put a part in the trailer that wasn't in the movie. Still, it's a great film. I'm not going to harp on that too much. But yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming coming in at number 9. Coming in at number 8. Coming in number 8 is Thor Ragnarok, baby. I got that on 4K. Also have it on 3D and the IMAX ratio on this one right here. Fantastic film. The first 2 Thor films struggled. As far as critically and the audience reaction to it, but Thor became a badass in this film and he didn't even need his hammer Mjolnir. I was going to say Maleficent, not Maleficent, but Thor was great in this film. Hulk was cool. They changed the CGI a lot, but it didn't bother me that much. Him talking and being able to communicate, that was fine as well. I like Valkyrie. Tessa Thompson was great in that film as well. And then the villain, Hela. Played by Cate Blanchett. She was a fantastic villain. The villains were getting better and better as the MCU progressed along. So, visuals as well were just freaking fantastic. Idris Elba got a step up too as Heimdall in this film. The action was great. Hela was just brutal. I wish we could have got a little bit more out of Surtur, the fire demon, or whatever, but it was a fantastic film. I was nervous at the very beginning because it was just so many goofy jokes when he was trying to talk to Surtur, but it was a fantastic film, guys. I loved it, and that's why Thor Ragnarok is coming in at number 8. Almost 100% satisfied with the action there. All right, coming in at number 7, top 7 right here. This may be a controversial pick right here. A lot of you may not agree with me, and that's fine. I'll tell you why. But coming in at number 7 is, I don't have a copy right now because it is in theaters, and that is Avengers Endgame. I have seen the film 3 times. The first time I walked out of it, I enjoyed the film, but I was disappointed for a number of reasons. Second time I saw it, but I still gave it a 9. Objectively, it was just subjectively, it was just some things that I did not get to see. I saw it the second time, I freaking loved it. I was like, okay, it's not a 9, it's 9.5. Saw it the third time, and the rewatchability factor really did hit me. That is one reason why it's not high on my list, because every other film that is I haven't listed yet, I can just sit and rewatch that over and over and over. I don't know if I can sit and rewatch Infinity War over and over and over again. I don't know if I can just sit at home and just watch Endgame all the way through, without twitching and twirling and things like that, because nothing, I mean, stuff happens, but the action don't kick off in the end. But it's, at the same time, there was a lot of stuff that I did not get to see in the action. For example, Fat Thor, he got whooped. But him doing a two-hammer thing was badass. Captain America wielding Mjolnir is badass. You know what I'm saying? The Fat Thor thing at the very beginning of the film was great. It makes sense. He lost everybody else. Everybody. He lost more than everybody. So I can understand that he's depressed and upset and all that good stuff. But the joke, it just lasted too long. When they went to New Asgard, when they recruited him, it should have stopped right there and he got himself back together. But when he was trying to explain the ether to the team, can we fast forward to the movie theater or whatever? And then the thing with Hulk at the end, you know what I'm saying? It's like, every other film in MCU, every character got the shine in the action, and there were it was just a big group of action, but everybody get the shine. When we got to Roderick and Ronan come back, or like when we got to see the sons of Thanos, not the children of Thanos or whatever, they did all their thing in Infinity War, but in Endgame they were kind of shafted. Like, I want to see everybody shine. I know this costs a lot of bread and things like that. I don't want to harp on it too much, but that is something that like kind of stood out to me or whatever. But Avengers Endgame is coming in at number 7. All right, coming in at number 6 is a film right here. It was my most anticipated film of 2018, even over Avengers Endgame, and that is Black Panther, baby. Got that right there on 4K and 3D and IMAX right here. I love this film. It was freaking fantastic. Thank you very much, Ryan Coogler and team and everybody involved. This film right here had some of the best, it has the best soundtrack in the whole MCU to me. It has the best score in the MCU to me. It has almost the best cinematography. It has the best costumes. It also has the best character moments and development and reveals in the whole MCU to me. I felt that Killmonger is, if not the best, one of the best villains in the MCU, but at the same time, I don't like calling Killmonger a villain. I'll just call him the antagonist, because I agree with 100% of everything he was feeling in this movie. Only thing I didn't agree with his actions of him wanting to start World War III and him wanting to kill children. I don't agree with that at all. No matter, the film was just talking about white supremacy or globally and things like that. And while I agree with every word of that, I would still never go and start a war. Now, if I want to set up shop over here and you come mess with me, I'll defend myself. Yeah. So I agree with him as far as that's concerned. But everything else, no. I don't want to repeat myself. Only thing this is not higher up, this would be number 1. It's just the action wasn't that fulfilling in this film. The waterfall fights were the best. The one with Killmonger was the best scene. The first one against M'Baku was the second best. The intro action scene, you really couldn't understand what was going on when he was chasing the people in Busan. That was cool. Killmonger versus the Dora Milaje, Shuri, and Nakia. That was freaking badass. I love that. That was like some old classic Shaw Brothers Kung Fu stuff. 18 monks in Shaolin type stuff. But the CGI rhinos were a little turn off. And then when they fought down in the mine shaft, that was just too much CGI for me. It didn't do anything for me. Everything else was perfect. This would have been higher, but it's coming in number 6 because the action, they could have did a little bit better with the action in this film as far as the choreography. Action was badass with Black Panther and Civil War. But yeah. Top 5, guys. We are down to the top 5. What order is it going to be in? Coming in at number 5, in my worst to first, is Captain America Civil War. That airport scene was bad. Every action piece in this film was badass. I loved it all. Only reason this film is not higher, only reason I like Winter Soldier more than this, because I haven't listed it yet, is because Zemo's plan didn't make sense. It was dumb luck. He had no idea that Iron Man was going to show up at the very end. And it just didn't make sense to me. It just didn't. Everything else in this film is perfect. I loved it. That airport scene, like I said, is like a love letter to comic book fans all around the world. I love the film. I can rewatch this thing over and over and over again. IMAX scene is on the Blu-ray 3D. So check it out if you haven't already. And you can watch the IMAX in 2D as well. But Captain America Civil War is coming in at number 5. All right, guys, coming in at number 4. Yeah, coming in at number 4 came out 2012. That is Avengers in 2012. I have this right here on Blu-ray, 3D, Blu-ray, DVD, digital copy. And I also have it on the 4K Steelbook as well when they re-released it like last year or whatever. Freaking fantastic film. The only thing that I, gripe about this film is there was a scene that they cut out and put on the deleted scenes where Hawkeye was explaining to Loki the Avengers plan, because when I was watching the movie, I was like, wait a minute, how does Loki know this particular part about the Avengers? There was no dialogue. They cut that scene out. They should have put it back in the movie. And I just wanted even though the action was badass, I still just wanted a little bit more. It seemed like we were cut kind of short or whatever, but Avengers is still a badass film. That's why it is coming in at number 4. So we only have 3 left, guys. Which order they're going to be in? And I will tell you right now. Coming in at number 3, came out last year. That is Avengers Infinity War. Man, hold up. This is badass film right here. Only thing, I loved it. Really nothing to complain about other than I thought that Black Panther and Wakanda was a little shafted in this movie. I did. Even the directors and the writers themselves, that was like, yeah, we had no idea that Black Panther was going to be such a success, because I did kind of, as soon as I got to Wakanda, like the Avengers, I felt like a thing was just kind of rushed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And while the MCU is very organized, it is not as organized as we think they are. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that they're unorganized, but sometimes like Avengers Infinity War, they were shooting and wrote all these films before like Black Panther and before Captain Marvel was written, and they come out and admitted that. So that's an objective opinion right there. That's measurable. If they would have known what they had and all that and the audience responses, they could have infused the characters in more for more development. Still a great film. That's why it's number 3. So don't bite on me. Coming in at number 2, guys. Love this film. Came out, I think, April of 2014. And that is Captain America, the Winter Soldier. This film is perfect. I remember only thing I griped about in the theater was when Captain America broke out that facility and he was trying to fight the Quinjet and he used a motorcycle to hop up on it. I remember when I was watching it the first time, I was like, oh, that CGI is bad right there. And also towards the end where Nick Fury tried to scan his eye, I was like, wait a minute, they would have deleted that one too. But I don't know. Those are only 2 little nitpicks. Other than that, the film is perfect. I freaking loved it. The scene, everything was perfect. The elevator scene was perfect. The beginning where he infiltrated the boat was perfect. It fought Backtrack, the Leaper. Falcon was a badass. It was just a Winter Soldier, hand to hand everywhere. Badass film. The reveal of Hydra. Also, what I like about this film is they did something in this film that the Mission Impossible films do too, where in every film you get a glimpse or a dream-like state of what it would look like if the bad guys won. Now, in this film with the helicarriers, it probably would have been disappointed if we didn't get to see the helicarriers get all the way up there, but we didn't get to see them shoot and stuff like that. No, I don't want people to die, but at the same time, I want to see how much damage that we can do. The good guys won, but we still got to see the helicarriers like blow some stuff up. They blew each other up. So that is why Captain America, the Winter Soldier, is coming in at number 2, and I freaking love this film. All right, guys, last but not least, it's the only one not on the list, and it's just crazy that, while this started the MCU, it's still one of the best ones to me, and that is Iron Man, the first one that came out May of 2008. This film is perfect to me, perfect balance, perfect everything. There's really nothing that I don't like about it. Now, I've heard some complaints like, oh, I didn't really like the villain Obadiah Stane because it seemed like he just went crazy out of nowhere. I will not argue with you if you feel that way. It wasn't necessary for me to get that because I was able to put stuff together in my mind like, okay, he's bitter, he's jealous of Tony, he feels like Tony is a little brat that doesn't deserve this company, etc., etc. So he was mad, he was shady because of that. He was a hater. So that didn't bother me. But this didn't. Someone really didn't bring this to my attention till years later, but I'm not going to change the way I feel about it because it didn't bother me. There was like when Obadiah Stane had the video of the terrorists talking about they recorded Tony Stark. Why didn't he delete the message? Why did you still keep that on the drive? That's kind of dumb. Someone didn't bring that to my attention. That's why I didn't like it. And I was like, okay, that's fair. That's a fair thing. It didn't bother me. It don't bother me now. And so that is why Iron Man is coming in at number 1. So guys, just to re-rank again, Iron Man 2 is number 22, Iron Man 2, number 21, Iron Man 3, number 20 is Thor the Dark World, number 19 is Thor, 18 is Age of Ultron, 17 is Doctor Strange, 16 is Captain Marvel, 15 is The Incredible Hulk, 14 is Guardians of the Galaxy, 13 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, 12 is Captain America the First Avenger, 11 is Ant-Man and the Wasp, 10 is Ant-Man, 9 is Spiderman Homecoming, 8 is Thor Ragnarok, 7 is Avengers Endgame, 6 is Black Panther, 5 is Captain America Civil War, 4 is Avengers 2012, 3 is Avengers Infinity War, 2 is Captain America the Winter Soldier. 100% satisfied with the action on that one. And Iron Man number 1, I was 100% satisfied with the action there. So guys, that is my rundown of the MCU top 20 or top 22. All 22 films ranked from worst to first. Please put your list down below. I want to hear what everybody has to say. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Let me know. Let's get this conversation going and keep it flowing. If you like this video, go ahead and give me that thumbs up. If you don't, that's fine, but you can still subscribe to my channel. You can also look me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all that good stuff. It's right there at the bottom of your screen, and I made it very easy by providing a link to all that down in the description box below. But guys, I just want to thank you again for tuning into my opinion/review of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, ranking all these films in this episode of Just My Opinion. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.